Possibly had a few little network issues earlier, so as long as you can see everything, and then yeah, we'll get started because we've got a really exciting interview for you today. Really pleased to get this one. Thanks for that, Andrew. Much appreciated. Gabriel, cool, or Gabriel, not quite sure how to say that. So cool. We've got everybody on board here. Ron, you can't see the screen yet. Just let me know when it appears for you, and we'll get going. Okay, so we're all good. So basically, what we're doing is today, we're interviewing the expert of expert on Facebook. There's no other way to put this, Don Wilson, okay? And this is Ads Cracked Revealed. So just a quick intro before we get started. We're taking you behind the scenes of Ads Cracked Reloaded, which launches next week. We're talking as well generally with Don about Facebook, things like that, covering some powerful strategies, talking about our own niches as well. Hopefully here because you're aware of who I am or who Simon is, or maybe even just who Don is. But if you don't know who Don is, then I don't know where you've been, okay? I really just don't know where you've been. So, Don, are you there?
Yeah, man. Good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. So, yeah, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking time out on a Sunday to actually do this, and you know, it means a lot.
Great to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool. So my intention here is to grill you with some really hard questions and get out some great content for the people who are watching this. So
cool.
What we're going to do is just take you through a few questions, and we'll see where that takes us. If people have got questions they want to ask, by all means, you know, bob them in the question box and everything. But really what we're talking about is Facebook, okay? So would it be possible for you to kind of tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you started off in marketing?
Sure. First, when I started off in marketing, I may be very similar or a little bit different than the average person, but I was working at 9 to 5, and this wasn't very long ago, just a few years ago, like 3 years ago or so. I was working at 9 to 5, and I was going to school full-time. I was basically every single day, I wake up and I went to this amazing job called being a debt collector. So I got to wake up and call people every single day that hated to hear from me. It was really cool. I went to a job that I hated. After the job, I drove to another city away, and I went to school every day for 3 hours a day, full-time school, college schedule, along with a full-time job. And kind of at the late nights, I got to kind of screw around, for lack of a better term, with internet marketing. You guys probably did the same thing. Got on a few people's lists, blogs up there, and I didn't get much success when I first started. I tried to do similar things to most people. I tossed up a blog. I'd get a little bit of traffic, do a little dance around, but then nothing would ever stick. And I failed many times. And finally, I got into Facebook and niche marketing there. I really started to have some success about 2.5 years ago, and I started to have a lot of success very fast. And it ended up making a ton of money to where I could quit my job, work completely off of Facebook. After I was making a lot, I was able to start teaching other people. And a couple years later, here I am right now.
Yeah, okay, cool. So not quite sure why you left the debt collecting job, but I'm going to just say that this sounds slightly better. And so you basically, you did all of this in just, what, maybe 3 years or something?
I can't remember exactly. It's 3.5 years. Not that many, man. Not that.
That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And you really seemed to understand and capitalize on Facebook just so quickly. It was just absolutely amazing just to watch, because the rest of us are all just, you know, going around like headless chickens trying to figure this thing out, and you just came in, figured it out, and actually started seeing results so quickly. So I guess, you know, you kind of started talking about it, but if you could just tell us how you got started with Facebook ads, which you kind of already answered a little bit, but why you think Facebook is such a good traffic source as well.
Well, when I got started with Facebook ads, it was a little while ago. I told you that it was about 2.5, 3 years ago or so. And how I got started with it, I was doing some of the Pitbull niche stuff. I was going out there, some of the penny-click courses, and I was getting really good at building up niche properties to where I could go out there, build like a Pitbull page per se, and then I would run them to a CPA offer, and I would make some decent money. I built up a couple different pages, and I started getting really good at it. And when I first started doing Facebook ads, the likes and the clicks there were even a little bit cheaper, so it was a really good time to get into it. It's always a good time to get in it because there's a lot more traffic now than there was then, but it didn't cost as much, but there also wasn't many people out there to teach me the right way. So I had to do a lot of failing. I didn't have quite the right guidelines when I first went out there to know exactly what niches to go in. I would sometimes go after stuff that really has no business to be on Facebook. For example, a really, really good niche on Facebook is something like pit bulls or dogs. A really, really bad niche on Facebook is something like plumbing. Okay, your water breaks inside your house. You're never going to Facebook to see if you can get your plumbing fixed. So before people would really have good guidelines about Facebook, everybody was kind of confused on what was going on. It's like, we see all these people over here, but we don't really know how to tap into it. And everybody has customers and they have clients out on Facebook. But when I first got into it, there wasn't a whole lot of guidelines and training. So I did lose money, just more on not being able to focus in the right direction. But eventually I started getting niche marketing down, and I could actually monetize stuff with CPA. Then I started monetizing stuff with physical products. And the physical products are the best things that I've found lately with Facebook stuff, because you can get traffic on Facebook. Everybody's on it. Pretty much anybody that's listening to this call at all, they get on Facebook at some point. That's why it's such a good traffic source. You go to any college, pretty much anywhere in the world, you look left, you look right, I guarantee you one of the screens you look at is going to have the white and blue background with that little F in the top left corner. So I got started with Facebook ads, just picking good niches and kind of lots of trial and error in the beginning because I didn't have anybody that I could look up to and say, okay, this is the right way to do it, because Facebook ads was a little bit newer then. Now there's a lot more people that can say, okay, here's the niches that work really well. If you want to do acne removal, you shouldn't be on Facebook. So that started when it was a little cheaper, but I had to have a lot more trial and error because I didn't have anything there that could guide me along to learn it. So I had to learn it by losing some money on my ad budget, which was fine. I was able to get it, and I am where I am today, but it did suck a little bit in the beginning to not know exactly what I was doing. Eventually it worked out well for me, though.
Yeah, sure. It was interesting when you said about, there are a few niches that maybe shouldn't be on Facebook. A couple of months ago, me and Simon, we were at the Marketing Summit in Manchester in the UK, and I had this guy come up to me, and he was basically one of those guys who just walks up to you straight after you come up on stage, and he's like, Steve, I need your help. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, I've got this athlete's foot niche that I'm trying to get on Facebook. And I was like, oh, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, maybe it would work, but to me that's just freaking me out already. I don't see why that would work at all. I mean, I just really, I was like, that's just a bad niche. So can you give us some examples of other type of niches that maybe people would be wise to avoid?
Okay. Before we go into this, I just wanted to preface a little thing about how I feel about traffic. That I think when I explain it this way, people can really wrap their head around traffic and niches that are going to work on Facebook better before we go into the niches. So if you think of traffic kind of as like the law of the conservation of energy, like the law, I don't remember the exact term of it, but basically traffic is like energy. It can't be created, it can't be destroyed, it can simply be moved. So when I'm going after traffic, I always look at it and say, all right, where are my customers currently at? How do I get them where I want them to go? What's the path of least resistance? Okay, so if somebody's going for acne removal, they're going to be searching for that solution. So that traffic is over on Google. If it's something that's every single day, like restaurants, foods, dogs, puppy, broad niches like that, you can get to any place because it affects so many people. The Facebook's a really good place to tap into it because it's an interest base. Like being interested in dogs, being interested in hunting, being interested in anything is targetable on Facebook, but you got to realize where your traffic's at. Now, if I'm doing, like, say, local, for example, and it's a restaurant, you might get a little bit of traffic with Facebook, but the best place to be is getting an SMS list, getting an email list, then talking to those people through those local channels. Facebook's going to be good, but you got to realize that the best way ever to get traffic is figure out where is it already at and the path of least resistance over there. So like emergency services, ugly stuff, Forex, acne removal, cellulite removal cream, fix a flat on your tire, all that stuff, it's not going to work well on Facebook. But stuff that will work on Facebook is cute puppies, woodworking, scrapbooking, sports, hockey, swimming, racquetball, rugby, stuff like that that's passion-driven, interest-driven, that will get a lot of likes and shares because people actually want to talk about it. If I post up a photo about acne removal, nobody's going to hit the like button, which means it's never going to show up in the newsfeed long-term on Facebook. And even if I do get likes, they're never going to respond to my posts, which means I'm not going to get any traffic long-term. So Facebook's great. But you just got to think of it in terms of, is this the right place for me? Now, we can talk about custom audiences and all that. Everybody can get some traffic from Facebook, but it's not always the right place.
So just to make sure that I'm understanding you, I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit. Embarrassing niches, people that have got maybe an interest or an urgent problem that needs solving that they don't want other people to know about, maybe not so good for Facebook. But positive stuff, passionate stuff, things that people feel strongly about and aren't embarrassed for other people to know about, more likely to work well with Facebook.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're getting some sort of cream that you have to rub to remove something, you should be ranked on Google, and you'll end up buying one of Mark Wallace's products or something like that. If you have something that's a cute puppy, it's on Facebook, and you might end up buying one of my Don't Pee in the House dog products. So, I mean, it just depends on where your traffic is going to be. Traffic's everywhere, but yeah, some places is going to have traffic. Like, I don't want to talk about my embarrassing thing about how I'm trying to get rid of hemorrhoids or something like that on Facebook. I'm going to go inside my basement in the computer, open up my laptop when nobody's around, and get on Google and look for it, because that's where that traffic's at.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, so I mean, I think what was your first big breakthrough with Facebook? You know, what was that point where you knew that particular niche, if you don't mind saying, where you thought, this is working for me. I've hit something here that could be a serious sort of result here.
Well, it's when I kind of figured out that when I could move one strategy that was working in one niche and duplicate it into others, even if I didn't get it right all the time, and I could duplicate a strategy that was working, I knew that I pretty much was good. So the Pitbull one was one of the ones where I started. I'd done plenty of other different ones where I would try, like fireworks, like woodworking, and they wouldn't always take off. Some of them did well, some of them didn't. But then when I realized all the strategies I was applying to pit bulls would move to Chihuahuas and German Shepherds and Rottweilers, and I started building up all those properties laterally. I was like, okay, all I've got to do is get one strategy to work once. And as long as these niches all kind of do the similar thing, I can implement that strategy over and over and over. That's why a lot of people do well in Facebook would say, like, sports teams or even sports in general. Like when I do a dirt bike t-shirt that takes off, I usually do the same exact t-shirt, maybe a little bit different for people that are into four-wheeling. And it's just a little bit different interest. So my big breakthrough, not so much in internet marketing, but just making it to where I know that I'm very comfortable living off just what I make on Facebook with no other affiliates, no other traffic, anything like that, is when I really realized that if I can get one strategy to work once, if I build it right in a scalable way, I can win 3, 4, or 5 times with the same strategy. So that's when my breakthrough was when I realized, okay, I can get fans in my Pitbull page. Okay, maybe I can transfer this over to German Shepherds. And when it worked and I moved it from one to the next to the next, I knew that all I had to do was get one strategy right at a time and I'd be fine.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you essentially created this machine almost that you could slightly change things, change the niche. Now, so we've got a couple of questions now which actually came in via email. Facebook were basically announcing this. And so we've got basically 3 questions for you, which I think basically people are asking this just to see if you're human, because I'm thinking some people think you just started off as a guru and there was nothing before. So first question, if you're willing to answer this, did you experience any failures before hitting the big time?
I still experience failures every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the time, especially if I'm going and setting up like Teespring t-shirts for my niche pages. Some are just mediocre wins. Some are big wins. Like a lot of the stuff we do, we fail, but we're not afraid to fail a bunch. That's the good thing about PPC, if you're doing paid traffic, scalability. Now, hopefully I don't get too technical into it with the failure thing here, because I don't want to get off topic. But I think that there's 2 different types of things that work really well with paid traffic. One pocket is the low-end, lower ticket, volume-based products like t-shirts. You can only price a t-shirt so high. So if you want to make good money with that, you're going to have to sell a big volume, which means you're going to have to fail a lot. And when you win, you can scale it to a really big audience. So like t-shirts, for example, I'm willing to lose like 6 or 7 times in a row because I know I can turn those off in one day and find out if it's a winner or a loser. Then when I hit a winner, I can leave it on for 2 weeks. Or I can scale my budget up big time. And one winner pays for like 15, 20, 30 losers. So with PPC, I still fail a lot, especially on the volume-based market. Now, when I go higher ticket, where I have a smaller audience, I'm selling, say, maybe a $25,000 mastermind, it's pretty hard for me to actually lose money. So with the higher ticket stuff, I usually don't fail much, but there's not as much room for scaling and as much room for me to mass make money with just ease of moving my budget. So with PPC, I fail a lot. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I don't. I failed today, I failed yesterday on something, and I failed the day before on something, but I got a bunch of stuff right in between. And I leave the winners on, and I turn the failures off within a day. So that's a really good model. Is that, like, I know for a fact I'm going to go out there tomorrow and I'm going to fail on some campaigns. And that's fine. If I lose $100 failing and then I've got a campaign on from 6 days ago that's still making me $150 a day, I'm okay with losing $100 to test. Because when I get 2 more winners, I'm going to be making $450 a day while I'm still only testing 100. So I
Yeah,
hope I didn't get too technical.
I think that's really exactly the kind of answer that we were looking for. That basically it's about the fact that you can quickly try things. You can go out there and try ideas. I mean, one of the things I've used Facebook for is product names. I literally just run an ad. I see which ones get the best responses. Or sometimes send people just to a page to actually, split test different names, different headlines. The great thing about Facebook is you can just test ideas so rapidly. And
Yeah.
like you said, you've got access to all of that traffic in so many different areas. So the next question, it's a little off topic, but we decided to include it. Do you suffer, or did you suffer, should I say, from shiny object syndrome, like many beginners do?
I think we all suffer from that a lot. And I think it's a lot of it's type of my personality, and a lot of people that are internet marketers successful is we get the ADHD personality, and I'm not just trying to self-diagnose or anything like that. Just saying that the ability to focus is really difficult with people that are very type A that can do a lot of things at once. Okay, so shiny object syndrome it kind of goes hand in hand with people that have a hard time focusing. So I do get the shiny object syndrome. I know what's bringing my money in my business though. So I look at things that are making a difference because I've got plenty of money as well. So I also like to look at things that I'm doing are fun. So I like shiny object syndrome a little bit myself because I like to keep things fun and I like to test new things and I like to always see what's working and what's going on new. So, but yeah, when I got started, I suffered a lot from shiny object syndrome. I didn't always know what I was wanting to do. And I found that a lot of times I was wanting to get to the creative side of stuff. I'd finally get a niche up and then I'd want to move to another one instead of working on that same one, maybe cloning it over and over and working that niche a little more than I should because it would start to get boring. See, once you get something that works, the problem is not that it's shiny object syndrome, it's that you get bored with it. Okay? And if you don't have anything that doesn't work in the beginning, you keep moving from over and over to the next thing because you're looking for something that works. Then once you get something that works, you usually get shiny object syndrome. That's why people that you'll see using their email list will email you out, email marketing is dead. Well, email marketing isn't dead or else they wouldn't have emailed you. It's just because they got tired of telling you to go buy an email course every single week, so they're creating something new. Shiny object syndrome is just usually human nature, I feel like. People will get bored with the method. It doesn't mean that something else old doesn't work anymore. For heaven's sakes, just because I'm telling you to go use PPC traffic doesn't mean that I'm not going to email you. Email works too. But shiny object syndrome is, I think it's just a human nature trait that you'll get bored with something, especially once you've got it systemized and it's not new to you. The first time you made $1 online is a lot more exciting than the 78th time you made $1 online. So I think shiny object syndrome, everybody suffers from it, even beginners all the way to advanced, and it's just part of it. And that's the part of having to buckle down and focus. You will suffer shiny object syndrome. It happens to me still. And at certain times, it'll take me over, and I'm like, holy crap, I just wasted the whole day screwing around on campaigns because I had shiny object syndrome. And then other days, I'm focusing the entire day because I realize that's what happened the day before. It still happens, and I think it'll happen to just about anybody.
Yeah, I think that's good to know, particularly for those people on this call who'll be watching this who, they're just starting out. They don't know what directions they're going, and they feel like they're pulled in a million different directions at once. YouTube, email, Facebook, all these kind of different options. And my feeling has always been if you stick with almost anything, it can work well. Obviously, some things are harder. There's less opportunity. Most things, if you're willing to stick with it, but we all struggle with that, sticking, with something and actually seeing it through. So, kind of on that note, and I swear this will be the last of the sort of the slightly off-topic questions. Were there any systems or business models that you tried before Facebook, and then when you got to Facebook, you were like, "I'm here, I've arrived," and then you thought those ones were not right for you?
I did some local stuff, not a ton. Mainly, I did local where I was trying to help people with their video SEO marketing, because video SEO is really easy to me. I would just go and put a video up, put it for a local keyword on SEO, and fire a bunch of backlinks on it from Fiverr, and it'd rank. But I mean, you're only going to get so much traffic for most places with local SEO. It's not the same as PPC. And I had to always listen to clients, and they didn't care with how much work I had to put in or didn't have to put in, any of that stuff. All they wanted was more clients, and they wanted to continue to call me, bother me. The rankings dropped. They're going to call me, bug me. I just hated doing that, and I don't work with clients now. I mean, I got clients that want to pay me $10,000 and $25,000, and I'll turn them down because I can make my money work for me with PPC, even if it's not a lot of money. If I can turn $50 into $500 or $250 into $2,500 and never have to talk to somebody on the phone, I like that a lot more. Okay, I like to be the guy that can travel around and just sit on my laptop, run some ads, then go out to the beach and come back and check my ads. I can't do that if I have clients calling me. I used to do the client thing. I hated it. It wasn't that it didn't work, but I was always trading a service and my time for somebody else's money instead of just trading some money to get a bunch more money. That's a lot easier. So once I figured out how to do that, I started doing that a lot more.
So I guess we've come full circle here where we're talking about scalability. That just wasn't particularly scalable, as a lot of people in offline do find that, you know, you've got to deal with a lot of stuff. There is a ceiling to how much you can actually scale things. So at this point, I was wondering if we could kind of swap over the screen to you. I'll ask you some questions, but you can actually take us into things in a little more detail if that sounds cool with you, Don.
Sure. What do you want to know? What detail do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, well, I thought we'd kind of start talking about Ads Cracked, why you decided to create it. You know, I'm talking about the original ads, Facebook Ads Cracked here. You know, what was it that actually motivated you to create it? Was it you noticed real issues with existing training? And what did you want to do to set it apart from those other courses?
Well, there's really this. It wasn't that there was any issues with any existing training. I don't really have any issues with any training out there. I buy a lot of training myself. I have no problem going out there and buying training that's cheaper or more expensive than mine. And I love going to get other training. So I don't think that there's any other existing training that was missing anything. But the first time when we came out with Ads Cracked Reloaded, me and Damian Caceres, who actually helped co-create 1.0 with me, found a method where we were getting cheaper clicks than pretty much anybody else out there. It was working on our pages. We got it to go from my gun rights page to my pit bulls page to another page to some of his pages, and it worked consistently over and over. We found that pretty much any niche that we were working it in, it was still continuing to work, so it wasn't going to saturate. As long as people didn't do the exact same niches as us, we knew that we could help a lot of people. And that's what it comes down to, is Ads Cracked isn't really, you know, a launch about making a bunch of money or doing a bunch of different stuff. We help a lot of people in there. It's because of the ongoing support in the community that we have about it. So Ads Cracked, we originally got it, we just wanted to help a bunch of people, get a lot of traffic, really cheap. And when it first came out, it was getting a lot more reach in the newsfeed. So once you got fans, all you had to do is find a way to monetize them. And Facebook was basically letting you post over and over and over in the newsfeed. So we had a method to get those fans dirt cheap. We taught it to a lot of people, found a couple different monetization methods, and it worked really well. It's changed a lot of people's lives. So many different people went from working like a 9 to 5, just like I did. And they were making like 100, 200. I've seen some person make, my friend Tom in the group made $700,000 of T-shirt sales in like 61 days. $700,000 in sales for just T-shirts. It's a life-changing program.
Absolutely insane.
It is insane. I wish I could do $700,000 in 61 days. I have not done that with T-shirts. He's kicking my butt on it, which is cool, which is really, really good. Like, I got to teach a lot of people, and this is what I love the most. Like, if I didn't do that, I would be making a lot less money with the own stuff I teach. And the reason why is because the community helps each other. I've seen, like, Frank Salinas was the one that actually brought name campaigns in the community, which you can't do anymore. But it was brought into my laboratory group. He posted a case study. So many people made, like, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from somebody else's case study that was posted in the members area. And that's what's really cool. All right? I decided to make it because I wanted to help something and help some people. And since I was actually really generous and I kept updating case study after case study after case study, that's the cool thing about the program. I never stopped giving case studies because I really care. And then other people that started to rub off on them, and now tons of people do it. I've got tons of people in there that'll post a screenshot randomly. They're like, I'm a 29-year-old kid who used to, last year I made $29,000. This last month when I working for myself selling T-shirts, we've made $29,000. Like, it's just really cool. I can't say enough about it. I don't know what else to tell you. I made it because we were helping people, and it's kind of just evolved and continued and grown into more than a course, but now it's just like a community of people that help each other.
Yeah, I think you perfectly identified there what sets Ads Cracked apart from other courses, and it is that ongoing support. It's very inspirational to see all these success stories coming out as well. So a moment ago I said about swapping over the screen to you. I wondered if you were willing to take us through maybe a couple of niches, a couple of examples, something like that, showing some of the successes that people can have.
Sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if the screen is on me or
I'll just pass it over to you.
All right, cool.
Okay, Don, I think passed it over to you now.
Show my screen.
Simon, by the way, have we had any questions come in?
Yeah, we've had one or two. What I've been doing is trying to answer them myself, but also noting them down so we can ask them all at the end.
Yeah, cool. Okay then, Don. Yeah, so if you can just show us a little bit of the magic maybe or something like that, that'd be really cool.
Cool. So what I'll do is I'll just hop into some ad campaigns here. A little off the cuff. Let me just grab here. I got a little go-to webinar panel. I'm not a webinar guy, so just so you guys know, I'm going to do my best here. I do videos for a reason because I'm just not good live. So I'm going to just do my best to just hop into some accounts, show you guys some cool stuff. And like I said, when Steve asked me for what was my big break, and this is the key that I look into all my campaigns. I told you my friend Thomas in the group did it like $700,000. My business isn't actually set up to do that. My business is set up to steadily do a decent amount of money every single month. It's not set up to spike in a huge way with these volume-based products, okay? So let me just show you kind of stuff that we're going through here. Look in here, we go to get paid so you can see what we've got going on just for the last few days, the last month. So you can kind of see the opportunity inside of just selling t-shirts if it'll actually work. We've got a payout ready for this month. It is the 4th. So we're making about $1,000 a day in sales from stuff. As you can see, last month, April 30th, we got a bank check payout of $78,000. So last month we did $78,000 in sales with Teespring. This month we're on pace to do even more with some of the other campaigns we've got in some other accounts. So let me just hop into ad account, and I'll show you everything that we do is we always try to make it to where it will scale. If we get one design to work, we want it to make 5 or 6 designs work. And let me set the premise before we go into this too far, because I know not everybody sold t-shirts online. How we do this and set this up is I basically make a brand new fan page. This one, for example, we were going after people that are vegan, and we were trying to sell vegan shirts in every single state. So I knew if I could get it to work for Michigan or Texas or Florida with the right interests, I could spend all my time testing it to get the right interests in one state. Once I've got them figured out, I just move it from state to state to state and make money. Now this one right here, I had no page when I started, nothing. I created a page, put a profile photo up, and I literally made an ad and started promoting with 0 fans. If I make more money on the t-shirt right here getting paid out than I spent, I cash out with profit. If I make less money than I spend in ads, I lose money. It is a very simple system. All right, so for the example, one we just got paid out on is an I Ride to Meet Women. And it's $3,892.61. It is a very simple dirt bike shirt. It says, I ride dirt bikes to meet women, nurses mostly. All right, so our targeting on this, we put this up on our page, was basically different dirt bike riders that are famous for dirt bike riding, gender of male, and that was the entire thing. So let me show it to you. Basically, here's the page, which we do have some fans now because I built them up from successful campaigns. This page, as you can see, I'll show you from the beginning. Give me 1 second. Is joined at Facebook April 14th. And I've been busy, you may know, trying to run a launch, so it's been hard to get this one up extremely fast, but it's still within like, what, 20 days from today? And we've made several thousands of dollars on this page until just recently we started engaging with them. Here, these are actual real posts. But if you see, for the first like week and a half, all we did was promote to them. We asked 2 little questions here to get some engagement, 6 people, 5 people, so that's just people that came later and liked it. And we instantly started to make money. And that's how I go into niches these days. When 1.0 came out, we built up these like bases first. We promoted the newsfeed. Eventually, we'd have positive ROI very easily. Facebook doesn't give up that newsfeed reach as easily anymore. So now we've had to adapt our approach a little bit. We still go after the same niches, but we don't put the same value on likes. Now we put the value on building our opt-in lists and profiting. So I profit first, and I build the likes second. So for example, there's a Dirt Sky campaign that I started this one with. Hopefully I could show you this one, show you that first. So we can show you just how this thing started from the ground up. Campaigns, Dirt Sky. This is the actual campaign responsible for starting this page. It sold 364, and it says all I remember is Dirt Sky, Dirt Sky, Dirt Sky, ambulance. We just go look for funny phrases on Google, and then we turned it into a t-shirt. All right, this campaign right here made us $2,200 net, and I'll show you the ads in a second, and it added over 1,000 fans to our page for free, which started it. Then, after that, we moved over to this campaign, which is I ride dirt bikes to meet women, nurses mostly. And once that one worked, we switched genders. It's the same shirt, except for it says to meet men, doctors mostly, and we made more money. So when we found out the Dirt Sky one worked, we made a couple thousand there. From this one, we made just under another $2,000 here, or no, over $2,000 on this one, and we made a couple hundred on this one. And now we're doing a giveaway with this same proven shirt, and we've already put over 1,000 people on our list. So within just a couple days, like 20 days, iterating this niche, we've made almost $5,000, have 6,400 fans, 3,200 people are talking about this because our page actually gets engagement because there are people engaging with ads. And we built a 1,000-person list just by doing a simple little giveaway right here. So let me show you kind of the ads behind all that stuff. I'll show you the targeting, show you every last bit of it. But we profit first, and then we build the fan page up second because the end goal is making money anyways. So we don't want to start with likes anymore because we're not going to get the same newsfeed reach as we used to. So this one, for example, let me just show it to you down here. This is the example. It's got 18,369 likes, 7,100 shares, and you saw all the sales. So let me go into the Ads Manager. See if I can find the page post engagement for it. Let me get down here. And here's the Dirt Sky one. I'll show you that one first. This is the one that started our page. We had over a $4,000 payout on it. It was $1,848 in ad spend. Now, don't let those numbers scare you. When I did this, I throw a decent amount of budget in it because I have to. But really, all you got to do is throw like $50 a day at this. At the end of the day, if you have like 6 or 7 sales, we're making about $10 to $12 per sale on these black and white shirts. I know I'm making enough margin to let it try and get lots and lots of likes, comments, and shares. So at $50 a day, on the next day, if you've sold like 7 or 8 shirts, you leave the ad on. If you haven't, you turn it off. So on this one, I noticed I was making more than I had spent. So over about a week and a half, about 9 days, we left it on, and we went more than double our money. Here's the actual interest that we use. It's very simple. We made a nice little photo for our ad. It was red background with just a couple pictures of the shirts that are available, and it was real simple. It says, "Love writing?" ? This is for you. Nothing fancy, nothing difficult. Red background that you can make in a PowerPoint slide. All we did was drop these actual images on it from Teespring where we sell it. We remove the white background. Really easy to do online for free. We make this, and in the interest, we just go out there and search for brands, events, and celebrities. This is how I do my interest in every niche out there. Say that again. It's brands, events, and celebrities. So I don't know if you can see this, but these are celebrity. Ryan Dungey, brand. Trans World Motocross, celebrity. Marty Smith, Kevin Windham, Motocross World Championship is an event. Now, I don't know who any of these people are personally. I'm not in this niche. This was just one simple Google search away to get a few of these interests, then Facebook suggested everything else to me. So what I'll do is when Facebook suggests a bunch, I'll start adding those in, and if I don't know the name or it looks weird, I'll go research it on Google and make sure it's a good interest for me, and then I'll put them in, and I'll take the top 2 highest ones, and I'll remove them. The reason why is, for example, if I was going after golf for a niche, the guy that always gets 10th place, the only people that know who that is are golfers. But if I use Tiger Woods as an interest, I might be having Tiger Woods as an interest myself. I don't golf at all. So basically we're taking the biggest celebrities that are usually known for more than just their craft, and we're trying to remove them out of the interest. I hope that makes sense. It's just as important for who doesn't see your ad as who does. Because if you're putting your ad in front of people's face that aren't very passionate, they're not going to be buying, every click that doesn't turn into a sale later is expensive. So it's not about cheap clicks. It's about clicks turning into sales later. So I want to pause here to make sure that I'm not losing anybody. Or is everybody following before I go forward? Steve, am I cool?
Yeah, that was really, really good, and I particularly liked what you said about the whole sort of getting rid of those celebrities that are just too well known, or those people at the top of whatever interest. Simon, have we had any questions come in that we need to answer at this point?
No, nothing, nothing at the moment that's relevant to this. Few of us for later, but everyone's loving it.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like we're kind of all good with this at the moment, Don. I mean, how many sort of people do you think Ads Cracked has made a serious difference to?
Oh my goodness. There's the people that bought it that it's made a massive difference to, and then there's the trickle amount of other people that have just heard about some of the methods that are in it. It's helped so many people, hundreds and hundreds of people that bought it, thousands of people that even learned a fraction of some of the stuff that was in it later, and it's helped so many people. I mean, literally, I know from the people that I talked to at Teespring, I've talked to the owner, I've talked to, that's just one section is the t-shirt stuff. Literally, I've verified with the people that are on there that some of the results that people have had. It is many, many millions of dollars in sales.
That's insane. Wow.
It's probably getting close to 8 figures. Do not quote me on that. Last I checked, in probably like November, it was over 3.1 million. And I know there's been 7 million since then, because that was only a couple months after we went out. And then there was the fourth quarter, which was the Christmas season and stuff with all the physical goods that people buy and all the gifts. So it's probably approaching 8 figures now. I can't say that with certainty, but it's up there.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, this is one of the things that really caught Simon and myself's interest, was the fact that you've got this machine that you can recreate once you understand how it works. And you've given us some great strategies just on this interview. Once you understand how it works, it's scalable, and there are so many people getting results. I mean, for instance, with Ads Cracked Reloaded, just from the pre-launch videos, the feedback that we've seen, that I know you've seen, it's absolutely insane. I don't believe I've ever seen anything like this before.
Good. That's great to hear. Yeah, it's insane the amount that I've been seeing as well. I've seen multiple people make, within 24 hours, just putting the strategies. And I even showed you some of the ones right here, with just the targeting into these. They were making $1,000 to $2,000 net on their campaigns. And there's a lot of people that are just very quietly making plenty of money on their campaigns too. There's some people that we've took some of this information, like the targeting here, and it's enhancing what they're already doing. Because this same targeting strategy is not just about t-shirts. This is the same targeting I use when I'm selling a high-ticket event, when I'm selling a mastermind, when I'm selling a digital product. This is the same type of targeting I'm going to use when I sell Ads Cracked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my interests, and I'm going to say, all right, what's the events, what's the brands, what's the celebrity? All right, brands, AWeber, get response, get 10,000 fans. Celebrities, who's the one that's too big? Well, let's knock Tony Robbins out of there, because my cousins know who Tony Robbins is. And now let's use Frank Kern, and let's use Ryan Dice. Boom, there's my interest. It works the same for everything.
Yeah, that in of itself, I think, is an incredibly powerful strategy there. So really appreciate all the time you've given us so far. I wonder if I could just take a little bit more of your time, and you actually tell us a little bit more about what's coming up with the launch. Is there anything that you can show us or tell us, giving us a little bit of a sneak peek into Ads Cracked Reloaded?
Sure, of course. All right, so let's just take it, because I don't want to get too far off topic of what we're showing right here. You saw this is where we're starting with the ground up on this one. So let's take it a little bit further. Remember, everything I talked about was with scalability. First, we want to make sure that we're building up Facebook properties, email lists, and then when we do stuff that we can promote, it needs to be scalable. So like this one, we proved these interests and these audiences, and then all we did was we moved it over to a different campaign. And basically, I look at it as a layer, okay? Layer that I just proved was the layering of all the targets, all the interests. We know it's a profitable interest because we found that out, okay? We found that out, but this shirt right here, we didn't actually, this is the shirt, okay? This is the shirt right here, but it's not the actual ad. This is a giveaway for it. where we can collect opt-ins. Okay, this is the shirt, but it's not gender specific. Okay, the only layer to this that we proved was the interest. So that once we proved that, we took those same interests without testing again, and we just took a new layer, which was the item. Okay, I look at everything as a layer. Okay, an item is a layer, an interest is a layer, a gender is a layer, a demographic is a layer, a state is a layer. So on this one, we figured out the exact targeting, which was one layer. We proved that it worked. So we took that layer and we added another layer to it of a gender, which made us allow this to make $2,000 here, almost another $1,000 here. And then when we take this, is we can take this same thing and I can go get a bunch of female opt-ins right here, and I can go get a bunch of male opt-ins right here by another 2 weeks later doing the single item giveaway. So what's really cool is I like to rotate things out. What you'll see here is this first thing will be proven, and then another week and a half to 2 weeks later, after the sale is over, I'll take the same thing and rotate it as a layer. Instead of now selling the item, we give it away to build our list. And this is build a 1,000-person list, which we can then take and email to our next actual t-shirt. Let me give you another example so you can really see it hit home. It's working right now. And I'll show you kind of all the stuff that we're doing. I just tossed up another giveaway on this page, so we're actively doing this stuff all the time 4 hours ago. Tossed up by me, keep calm, and love pit bulls. All right, it's just a simple shirt that we buy and we give away. We already put probably almost 1,000 people on our list from this in the last couple hours. So that one, what we're going to do is follow up with 2 or 3 emails to this t-shirt that's down here. Let me get it right here. That's actually just for sale. All right, this is a t-shirt that we actually get to do where we donate some of our proceeds to charity. So like I said, anytime that I do stuff out here, it's not just about making money. It's about actually helping people, making a difference. That's why AdsPrac is what it is. Because the back end was about me continuing to give lots of case studies and help over the long term. So this one, you'll notice on this, there is an actual URL. On the end of it, it says question VAR equals FB1. And that's because I track like a fool. Crazy madman with my track. Now, this one, this FB1 could stand for that I'm going after a certain type of interest. Maybe it's from just one type of post. I have variable equals EM1. So basically, I took an email list that I just recently built by doing the same giveaway. Let's see if I can find it down here. This one right here. I did this giveaway, 19,586 people, spent under $300, put 4,000 people on my list, and then I follow up with them with 2 emails now to this actual t-shirt and this one post that's been boosted. And this t-shirt is now at 69 sold. All right, so if I go back in the back end, we're probably at about $900 in net take-home money because it's a very simple shirt. We're charging $22.50 on it, so we've got a decent margin. We're making $13 or $14 per t-shirt because there's not that many colors. We're getting sales from our email list that we just built that we only spent a couple $100s on. I've already net profit margin ROI with my email list. All the money I spent to build it that you just saw on that first Feel Safe at Night Sleep with the Pitbull giveaway that I scrolled through, just to the sub ID of this one, I've already made it back. Let me show you. All right, I'll go in and I'll track every single thing that I'm doing on these. So I go to Analytics. I go down here, and down in the very bottom there's that get. It's called Get Variable Data. Now it says VAR equals FB1, which is the value, and then EM1. Now right now I'm currently spending $100 per day as my budget on ads. Yesterday we sold 20 t-shirts on this FB1. The first day we didn't do that many because it was just taking a while to get out the gate. Second day we did 20. Today we've done 11 already, and there's still 5 or 6 hours left in the day to go. So we're still doing very well because we're making about $12 or $13 per t-shirt. So this one right here, we've got about $130. We've probably only spent 65 bucks today. So we know that Facebook ad today is making more money than we're spending, but we also know that the email I sent out a little while ago drove 1,300 hops from that 4,000 person email list, 22 t-shirts ordered. Overall, we're making 12 or 13 bucks. We've already pretty much made back all of our money for our list. And here is the second email that came out on it, which is another 6 sales. So if you look at most of the stuff, almost all the sales are pretty even. Half are going to the Facebook one here and half to the email. And if I actually was to take you inside of my email account, I've got 5 more emails scheduled to come out. They're going to produce 30 or 40, maybe 50 more sales from that email list, and only spent a couple $100, and all we're doing is selling them a t-shirt that we're already going to sell on our page anyways. This one campaign I'm showing you live right now will make us several thousands of dollars over the next week and then we'll even get to donate some of it for charity to help with the cause. So we build all these properties up, but we don't build them up guessing. We build them up with profit in mind. I have profit in a niche from day one. I spend $50 testing something. If it works, I scale up, and I scale to other properties. If it doesn't, I cut bait, maybe try to design. If that doesn't work, I try a new niche. I don't dwell, and I move on, because I know that when I do win, it's just like me and Stephen talking about alcohol. It's all about scaling. PPC, it's not about winning or losing. If I lose 5 times and I can cut that off at $50 budget, and then when I win, I can scale to $50,000 budget, I can lose a lot of times. I'm not saying you're going to scale to 50,000, but that's the key with PPCs. It's how far can you scale when you do it. Hopefully
Yeah,
I didn't
sure.
go too long on that, man.
No, not at all. I think this has been really, really fascinating. I'm just going to check in with Simon, make sure we've not got any outstanding questions or issues that need answering at this point.
Not really, no. Like I say, there are a few questions coming in, but they're from lots of different points, so I think it's best to ask them at the end.
Yeah, sure. Just before we move on, Simon, if you could just bob down besteverbonus.com. This is where we'll stick the replay of this video interview.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that now.
People want to actually catch up with that. Yeah, so Don, you've shown us some amazing stuff. I really, really appreciate everything you've shown us in terms of you talked about why you do what you do, in terms of the effect it's had on people. You've shown how you deal with things that don't work, because the fact is with a lot of stuff online, people just pretend, oh, this works 100%. You're completely different from that. And you show how it's not actually a problem. In fact, it's positive to have failures, because the more things you can get through, the more things you can test, the quicker you find those winners, and then you just scale. And that's what I really, really love about Ads Cracked. So just to kind of wrap things up, because I don't want to be taking too much of your time, could you talk a little bit more about Ads Cracked Reloaded in terms of what's coming with the launch and everything, and anything else that you'd like to add?
Let me just recap this, what's going to get into it so that people kind of have an understanding. The way I built this program is that anybody can get started from the ground up. You don't have to have a huge budget. Obviously, a budget will help. Okay, it's paid traffic. The more money you have, the faster you can test, which also means the more money you can lose if you're not pushing your back against a wall too. So this can work for anybody. I've set this stuff up to where when you get inside, if you purchase Ads Cracked, remember there you're met with a welcome video that says, here's how to digest this course at any skill level. So if you're never set up an ad, I start you at module 1 that says, here's the ads foundation, here's the correct way to set up any ad out there. And then we go to advanced ad foundation, where I start to give them the strategies, targeting strategies like I gave you right here. Then after that, we take them over to, here's how to actually turn those into lots of clicks, traffic, and in those niches. And then from there, we go to list building, and I teach them affiliate stuff. I have one ClickBank launches by setting stuff up, how to track it, how to scale things correctly. Then from affiliate, we go to the different kinds of list building, where we're doing physical products, squeeze pages, petition pages. Then from that, we move on to physical products, the stuff you're seeing right here, the stuff that's responsible for millions of dollars of my student sales. We go to 2 weeks live physical product stuff. There's an ongoing community with it. Then after you've got your traffic set up, after you've got some physical products set up, and you're starting to see money come in, starting to see sales come in, I start to teach more monetizations to the entire group live. We go from physical to digital. From digital, we go to high ticket. We go from high ticket to masterminds, from masterminds to events. When you first get started, you probably don't need to know how to sell an event. But I know how to sell events for extremely high ROI, so I'll teach you those as monetization methods. When you build out your traffic, you don't want to just be able to sell them only T-shirts. Sometimes you want to sell them T-shirts, and sometimes you want to sell them digital products. What works for pit bulls doesn't work for Forex. So I'm going to give you all the monetization tools to pretty much sell anything online, because I sell it all on Facebook. Then here's the cool thing, and here's where, like we said before, the course differs. For 3 more months, I am doing ad critiques inside the group. So basically, you post something in the group once a week for 3 months. If you post your screenshot, your targeting, your offer page, I'm going to go through a thread of anybody that's posted for that week. Once a week, I'll do a video recording so you'll get a personal critique from me. What I thought was wrong, maybe you're designing your T-shirt. If you do a T-shirts, the changes that I would have done in your targeting. If your offer sucks, I'll tell you your offer sucks. I'm a nice guy, but I'm brutal with honesty. I mean, you pay me to help you, and sometimes it's not always in sunshine and rainbows when I'm giving you some advice, but I'll save you money so you don't continue to waste money on a niche that wouldn't work. So for 3 months, I continue to help people over and over and over for half a year, all the way until December. I'm constantly, at least a couple times a month, dropping case studies, guaranteed, all the way till December, every single month about what's working for me right now. So if newsfeed changes and I have to adapt my strategy, you're still going to see what's working for you right now because I continue to update that stuff for the rest of the year. So it's a course anybody can go through, and it continues to get updated. It's got an amazing community, and that's really, at the end of the day, what's going to help you. I told you that you're probably going to screw it up a couple times. I screw it up every day still. But what helps is that you've got a community back there to help you. You've got a lot of other people constantly posting, you know, I failed 12 times, but now I finally got it. Now I'm figuring out how to scale. I've won 6 times in the last week. Boom, here's a $12,000 week, and it will motivate you. I can't tell you how many times people have posted there and said, you know, I haven't actually tried this for 2 weeks because I've been trying this other stuff, but after I saw the last 13 different success stories, I gave it another shot, and boom, just took my first campaign. And that's what you're getting into here. It's not just a course. It's a community that helps you ongoing for a very long time.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that, Dan. I thought what we do now is, Simon said there were some questions that came in. Anything we need to run through right now with Don, Simon?
To be honest, quite a lot of the questions that I've got written down here have just been answered actually, but there's a few that a few people are asking about using scraping tools for custom audiences, and we're wondering if that's something that Don teaches, or you know, if it's in the course.
No. I do talk about custom audiences, and I talk about email custom audiences, and I tell people not to use UID-based custom audiences. The problem is that Facebook has conflicting terms of service. Anybody that tells you that you can just use custom audiences isn't really giving the whole story. The thing is, the tools that you use to pull custom audiences are 100% compliant. They are. So the people that are selling the shovel, basically, for the marketers to use, they're clean as a whistle. Nothing's going to have to, I mean, some things happen to some of those people, but the tools aren't breaking the terms of service. The terms of service where it gets broken is when you go and pull UIDs from a page that you don't have any permission to actually market to, and you upload those as if they're your own audience. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a custom audience that you have access to that Facebook does not have the information for. That's what that's actually there for. But when you're just basically pulling information and data they already have, but they're not giving it to you to use, then you upload it saying that you have permission to market to those people, that's where the terms of service gets broken. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Whether Facebook cares or not is a different story. Okay? I don't play the game on whether Facebook cares or not. I play the game on following Facebook's rules. There's plenty of money to be made following the normal interest. All those examples that I showed you, all normal interest. How I made like $48,000 net out of that 78 grand in Teespring last month, all normal interest. Everything I do, normal interest. If you want to do UIDs, you're big boys and girls. You can do whatever you want. But I'm going to give you the actual right information, which is the tools are fine. You use the tools all day long. That's why people tell you the tools are fine, because they are. Where the risk is you, the user, uploading data, which is what Facebook cares about. Their golden goose is their data, not some tool, and abusing it or not. So I say don't do it. I show you plenty of methods that work constantly that you don't have to use it in. Are there people killing it with custom audiences? Absolutely. Am I going to teach you to do it? No way.
Okay, yeah, I think that's certainly cleared things up there. As far as I understood it as well, there was a point, I think you mentioned this earlier, where people were getting pretty personal with their advertising in terms of like named campaigns and things like that. I think there were a few sort of issues there, and basically it's probably a good idea to pull back from doing that kind of advertising.
Here's the thing, is that like when Frank posted that case study about how to do name campaigns in my group months and months ago, it was fine to do name campaigns. It was within the terms of service. They changed that later. But here's how the terms of service gets made. It's not some guy pulling stuff in a hat in a back room and says, all right, new terms of service we're going to implement. Terms of service are made based on feedback from user experience. And if those ads are bringing a negative user experience to Facebook and people are saying, I don't want to see this, or they're reporting it as spam, because honestly, it's going to creep you out that people that you know that people have that data. They can call you out by name in the newsfeed. It's a little creepy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I think it's creative as hell. But I understand that how terms and services are made on any platform out there, they're going to be made based on user experience. People don't just make up rules. They make up rules to enforce things that help enhance the user experience, because that's what matters long term. So that's the thing about Facebook terms of service. They change like the wind blows. I'll continue to do my best to update people with them. But as long as you're really thinking at the end of the day is, all right, I'm doing my best to follow all Facebook's rules, playing in the terms of service, and I'm looking at the data that I'm using, and I'm saying, all right, is this going to creep Facebook users out, or am I using it in a respectful way that at the end of the day is best for Facebook's user experience while still looking out for my wallet? You should be very, very okay with all the strategies that you're using, because that's what they changed terms of services for, is because user experience and user feedback.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really clear explanation. I appreciate you going into exactly why Facebook does what it does, because I know some people feel it's arbitrary and it's out to kind of get them. Simon, do we have any other questions we want to put to Don at this point from the audience?
I think that pretty much covers it, other than a few people have been asking for sort of a breakdown of the course modules.
Okay, I mean, Don, I'm not sure if you want to cover what the basic modules are covering, or whether even that's oh, whoa, didn't really expect that. That's pretty cool, guys.
Can you see my screen still?
Yeah.
All right, so here's what it goes into. We welcome, and like I said before, how to digest a course for your skill level. Ads Foundation, we teach them how to set up ads correctly from the ground up. And then after you've got the ad set up, you start getting the strategy, how to pick interest right, custom audiences the correct way, how to split test, how to set stuff up so you can scale correctly, when to bid cost per impression, when to bid cost per click, how to counteract banner blindness, how to set up retargeting the way I do it. Then traffic inside of Facebook, what niches that we use that will work really well. We know now that we're not supposed to do acne removal on Facebook. I teach you all that stuff in here. How to still get likes for ugly niches. Okay, you can still get likes for acne removal, and there's a good reason for it. Because once you get likes to a fan page, you can still promote to them with ads, but far cheaper. So say if you're doing a business for an auto repair, that's an ugly niche people don't care about, auto repair and posting it on Facebook, but when you're actually in the business and they say, hey, I'll give you $5 off on your oil change if you like our page. Then it says step 1, like our page for $5 off. Step 2, enter your email here. So you get likes and leads for ugly niches. I don't really want to go too far into it, but there's exact real strategies for ugly niches and for local. Traffic external, the stuff where we talked about direct PPC for passion niches, that's like T-shirts. It's 50 bucks a day. If it's making money, scale it. If it's losing money, turn it off. Direct PPC for ugly niches, what you're right here, this is an ugly niche. You don't have fun going out there and doing internet marketing. You do internet marketing so you can make money to go out there and play golf and do passion niches. Okay, this is an ugly niche. Forex trading is an ugly niche. How we get traffic for them is different. Affiliate offers, CPA offers, digital products, tracking to the sale, how to do it correctly, sequence promotion versus evergreen, how to scale correctly, all the ways I build my list. Physical product stuff, this is the biggest selection and biggest part of the course. Then everything gets delivered live. There'll be digital stuff. There'll be part 1, part 2. These menus are a little messed up right here. This is all one thing. So we're still working on the members area. But there'll be digital live, masterminds live, and events live. And those are all going to go here. And there will be another menu block right here that will basically say claim your critiques. And then there's 2 groups. One is the laboratory, which is the main mastermind group that everybody posts all their stats in. They post for help. Then there's what's called the What's Working Now case study corner, where I continue to drip on case study after case study, month after month from here until December. So you've got the not perfect unfinished members area here, but that's the best I could do for a quick overview of what's in a very long course.
No need to apologize, Don. Really appreciate you actually showing that. I wasn't particularly expecting that, but thanks a lot. I've just got one question that's coming I think is pretty interesting. As a total beginner, okay, how long is it before you could actually get started going through the course? So, could you start in the first module, or would you have to go through a few before getting going?
As long as you can get a design and you can get a T-shirt up, you can start with what we talked about on the call. But
yeah, that's actually very cool, isn't it? Yeah.
You're going to need some help along the way. Like, I gave you enough information on this call. Is that if you can go hire a designer on Fiverr and then put it up on a T-shirt on Teespring and then run the ad to those exact type of interests, the celebrity, events, brands, and measure money in versus money out, as long as you're making more than you're spending, you don't need more than that. Of course, you're going to want to learn all my scaling techniques. You're going to want to learn how you're going to bid properly. You're going to want to learn all my other niche targeting and how I can scale from one campaign to the next over and over, how we build lists and all that stuff. But you got enough info right now that if you can actually get a design on Fiverr, you can try this. I mean, you've got the info. You don't have the ongoing help, and for somebody to tell you what you did wrong if it doesn't work the first time, and we know it doesn't usually, but you've got enough info like to start now.
Okay, yeah, well, I think you made a very good point. I think this has been a seriously valuable call. Just before we wrap up, just a little bit of slightly self-serving stuff here. In that, when does when does Ads Scratch Reloaded launch? What's the date and the time?
May 6th, 3 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, yeah, so we're actually looking at this pretty soon. So guys, if you're interested in getting Ads Scratch Reload, and I really can't see, why anybody would not want to get this. It's incredibly powerful. Hey, just what Don's shown us right now is amazing. If you go to besteverbonus.com, I think Simon shared that. We're currently putting together one of our famous bonus packages. This is going to be our $20,000 bonus. So this is the biggest one we've ever done. We're also going to be sharing some tips and tricks from things that we've actually done in our own niches, and also as well we'll be putting up the replay of this video. So what you can do is you can go there right now. The complete sort of offer that we've got for you and some of the strategies are not up yet, but what you can do is you can get on the early bird list, so you'll get notified as soon as this comes out and the other video content. So that's really exciting. So I just had one quick question. Actually, no, I think Simon, that's actually probably been answered. Do we have anything else that we need to cover at this point, do you think?
Not really, no. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay then, cool. Don, thanks so much for joining us, because I know you must be really seriously busy putting this together. Obviously, you've got your launch soon. I know that's an awful lot for you to do, so for you to take this time out really means a lot. I know it means a lot to the people on this call as well. So, like I say, thanks an awful lot, Don. Any last words that you'd like to end on before we wrap this up?
Take action. I mean, just get out there, try it, give it a shot, believe in it. It's worked for a lot of people, and a lot of people that probably didn't believe it at the first time. And I didn't believe it worked the first time either. Give it a shot. I told you some stuff that works here. I mean, it's real. Give it a chance. Go for it. That's all I got to say. Is that believe in yourself, believe that the method works, and believe in it enough to actually get out there and try. I've given you enough information to get started, even just right here. But you got to believe in it yourself to actually go out there and do it. So just give it a real shot.
Yeah, we just had a couple of questions come in. Can we have a short version of Ads Scratch just for beginners? And I think the point is that this actually will work for beginners as well, isn't it? That's the whole point here.
It's a simple model. It's about scaling. You can make a couple $1,000s here and there before you learn any of the scaling techniques and how to go from one campaign to the next. It's simple. You don't have to know how to design. I can't design a stick figure. I really can't. But I can hire somebody on Fiverr for $5 or $10 to make me a simple shirt. That Dirt Sky shirt was white text with a white outline of an ambulance with no shading, no shadow, one color shirt. Let me show you another one right here just to hit home. Just the fact that anybody can do this. All you got to do is the same ads that we showed you live on here. On here. Here's one that made me almost $2,000. Funny story. This is how fun it can be. It's made me almost $2,000. I targeted fishing line, fishing reel, fishing rod, and then angling, I think. Okay, and I scaled it from one interest to the next, and we made several thousands of dollars. If you tell me that you can't design that T-shirt, or you can't find somebody that on Fiverr that can design it, I'm going to tell you you're a liar. Because anybody can find that, anybody can design that, and you already have the targeting right now to go out there and do it. I just told you what it was. Don't let yourself get in the way of this. People can do this starting now.
Yeah, I think that's a really hilarious way to end.
It's a good way to end. It's a great way, right?
It certainly is. So Don, big thanks from Ms. Simon, and I know the audience as well would like to say thanks to you for doing this. Really appreciate it. So we'll wrap up the call now. We'll get the replay sorted for this. Like I say, we'll put it up at besteverbonus.com if people want to register there, and then they can see this and some other strategy stuff of things me and Simon have been doing as well. I'm going to let you get back to your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of it, Don. Thanks for being with us, and best of luck with the launch have Ads Cracks Reloaded this week coming up, should I say. I can't wait to see all the success stories, because literally they've even been coming in off the pre-launch, which is just the pre-launch videos. That's absolutely, absolutely amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay then, everybody, we'll wrap things up here. Thanks for attending, and we'll see you later.